There she is. Rhinestone, another
It is just,
oh my God.
If you're a young man, you need to figure out what you're trying to do with your life, you need to subscribe to this goddamn channel.
What the fuck?
Megan Fox with a dick, or Hulk Hogan with a puss.
Mel time. It's Mel time.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
You see that Waffle House there? There's murderers in there.
You have to conclude that Trump betrayed us.
Socially retarded fat.
Seething.
Don't work with retard. He's a halfway decent looking guy, a nice smile, can be a gentleman, snarky as even in person, yet he blocks me and talks shit about. Somebody find out their fucking real names for me.
'79T 2458 Learning Corp Little Red Riding Hood, take one.
40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense?
where they say there are Indian people pooping on our beach.
It's a spool of wire. 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone.
Morning. Saturday already. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? Look at us. Look at us. Look at us. Isn't this great? Yeah, we're on Red Morning. What can I say? Dudes, so you have Marty to thank for this. Marty in sales. I don't know if he's in the chat, but you have him to thank for the abomination that's about to happen. I was like, duh, I don't have a topic for Red Morning. And he's like, why don't you do some red meat? You never do red meat. And I was like, yeah, but I don't like doing red meat. And then the stars aligned, the planets aligned, Uranus and Neptune decided to, all that. I don't know astrology very well. But yeah. All of a sudden we have female Ashley Madison. Oh boy. It is a laugh riot. There's not a huge amount to go over, but I'm going to go over it. In the meantime, though, this right here. Look at this. I don't know how I did it. I became the top 10 bestseller in philosophy on Substack. I just beat out Pam Anderson, by the way, too. That bitch had it coming. She had it coming. Now I got my eye on Kate Mann. More to hate. Luffy, guy on Twitter, said she looks chopped, which I don't know what that means, but I'm going to chop her. Anyways, for those of you who subscribe to the Artist Mercury Rising, yeah. So if you haven't subscribed to the Substack, I would say do so. Right now, I am uploading Dread, and it's actually, I didn't realize how many chapters and how much it was in there, so I'm putting like 3 chapters a week up there, plus I've got like regular posts. A lot of it lately is going to be fiction, storytelling kind of stuff, because I don't know if you know this, but I got another book coming out. It's like, didn't you just have one in February? Yeah. And didn't you just have one in November before that? Yeah. And now I got one in August. And there's probably going to be another one in November. Get used to it. Really? How are you so prolific? Well, the trick is all that time that people spend shitting on Roger Tomarso or yelling at chicks with White Claws or trying to open a jar of pickles. If you just buckled down and did some work, you could be extremely prolific. It's a little trick I learned from the military called working for a living. Oh, thanks, Marty. Here, he put it in there. You guys, I'll pin that to the top. Let's do it. Anywho, yeah, so I got... Yeah, apparently a big deal on Substack for whatever the fuck that's worth. I don't know what that means. And then this is the final cover. I've gone through about 4 different cover revisions. This is the one I'm sticking to. So it's Jake Long, Softbone, Cyberpunk. It's you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll shoot a laser gun. It's great. And unlike most Cyberpunk, I did my best because they always talk about high-tech low life. But I'm like, everything they do in there is so cool. It's like the Matrix. Matrix is supposed to be a dystopia. Yeah, but you put on a trench coat and have it fucking look like... It's like, no, man. You gotta make it dystopic. Make it things that you wouldn't want. Otherwise, it's not a dystopia. So, yeah. Oh, it's entirely that, too. And you know what? It's so Dog Walker was an 80,000 word read. Oh, geez. Orc City in the chat. Son of a... Hey, speaking of which... I keep forgetting. So there's something I usually do if somebody's been in the chat more than once or twice and I know them. I don't know if you know this. We got some trolls in the chat. And they like to impersonate people. And so you have to find a nice quick way to tell the difference between one or the other. Anywho. Yeah, welcome to the Wrench Crew. Yeah, so that's coming out. It's going to be great. I've been sending excerpts out for... the last month so that anybody who's curious about it is not going to be surprised what's in it. They're not going to buy it and then be like, this is not what I expected. No, I want everybody walking in with a clear head. If you don't want it, I want to make sure you know you don't want it. If you do want it, I want to make sure you do want it. So, you know? So we'll see what happens. I suppose I should be just grifting it, but whatever. So as always, that's on Amazon. The pre-orders for Kindle are there. The paperback is going to be, and the hardcovers are going to be released on the 1st. Because you can't pre-order those for some reason, which is fine. And then audiobook will be in a couple months. Dogwalker's audiobook should be out now, though. So that's to be... not out yet. It's in the final approval stages. I'm looking at it right now. It's in review. It takes at most 10 days, and I sent the thing in on the 18th. So... we should have it in the next few days. So if you've been curious about the Dog Walker and my first contemporary fiction, but you just can't be bothered to read it, it's okay. I got you, fam. I'll read it to you. I will read it to you. You get to see everything. And if you've read Fuck Files already, some of the story should sound familiar. It's essentially a story, but a lot of the chapters from Fuck Files were kind of like adopted into a proper narrative format. So I think you'll like it. It's the book that I didn't have the skill to implement 6 years ago, but I do now. Yo, got my stripes. Fucking guy. I still call it Orc City, man. I don't know. I just think you should I think you should rename the book Orc City. All right. One sec here. I got to look something up. I still laugh, man. You got onto fucking Forbes. Anyways, here, I'm putting a link on it, because, like, if I'm talking about this stuff, I should at least... oh, for crying out loud. Let you guys in on the jokes, right? I think I mentioned this last week. There she is. Or was it the week before? Yeah, so he did, John's here, he's another author in the chat. He did a book, Black Crown, Age of Adventure, and he was making fun of Hojima, the guy who did Metal Gear, those stories. And he's like, yeah, this guy sucks at it. And then the internet just had they made him the main character that day, and then they took his book and they posted excerpts with an LOL attached to it, went viral, and he did the one thing, and this is look, whatever. The one thing I appreciate about this whole story, aside from everything, is I am just amazed that a small indie fantasy writer learned more about social media savviness than Jack Murphy, than Andrew Tate, than everybody. Just roll with the fucking joke, man. I've been saying this for years, and everybody I told Jack Murphy, just roll with the joke, man. If they ask you about the cuck article, just roll with it. You put your pound of flesh in. Your wife divorced you. Your kids got taken away. Yeah, I'm going to live like an asshole right now, and that's okay. I've been as traditional as you could possibly be, and I got nothing but punishment for it. I still cheered on. And then, so I'm like, did he do that? No. He yelled at Cindy Watson. But, I'm not being paid to be a social media manager, so all he got was, the friendly piece of advice from me. And that was it. Anyways, yeah. Naming the golden oldies. I see Rob in here. Rob, I have heard that your latest sit down is if you guys don't watch Rob very much, that's the one to watch. They even brought Nick back. Nick's never. I think you guys even didn't talk shit about him for a couple minutes. That'll be awesome. Yeah. But look at this. The whole gang is here. You got Nuclear Jadio, who, by the way, I'm sure you've gone viral today because Sydney Sweeney's in the news again, and I'm sure you got something to do with it. This is like a regular League of Distinguished Gentlemen, but for like viral, memeable people, you know? We got Mr. Sydney Sweeney as Mid himself. We got Mr. Orc City. We got Rurb. All I'm missing now is Rollo, and I can call it like the vasectomy power hour. And he'll have everybody here who's gone like amazingly viral in the past couple years in the chat. The only problem with Rob shows the shady beer he drinks. I agree. But I mean, I think he drinks Bud Light as like a... What the hell? Oh, there it is. All right, so here. Let's get into it. I'm effing around. First off, I just have to start with this. I'm like, dude. If you don't get the joke, this was the setup at the Canadian convoy. Back when... I think it was right at the start, before Trudeau did the Emergency Measures Act. So we never did find out if he got the UN to send in foreign troops. But the rumor is they essentially borrowed the police force of York, the York Peel region, which is like it's a bigger municipality in Ontario. And they sent them all down to Ottawa to go basically... Yeah, they'll go those peaceful protesters. They're shoveling the driveway. They're feeding the homeless. They brought their kids. Look what he brings to the table. And I don't know much about optics. Can somebody explain to me having... I'm just going to call it an ACOG. I don't know what kind of scope that is or what kind of optics that are. But putting it on the side like that, is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. But anyways, yeah, so the idea was these truckers definitely needed this kind of response. It was a very... overwhelming sense of force, and to this day I'm still raw about it for multiple reasons. Anyways, if I want to see heavily armed men, I can just go to Euston Station in London. It's reassuring. So let's get to what I'm here for. Oh yeah, one more self-promotion, then I promise I'm done. Correspondence theory. It's a Canadian I don't know how to describe it. It's not a news thing like Vice. It's not a blog thing or a Substack thing. It's more like an aggregator. But it's like an aggregator mixed with a news thing. It's like a weird hybrid. Anyways, it's a really cool thing. Just sent them an article, which they published this week. Yes, this week. Where it was the function of money in monetary policy currently, because like a lot of Canadians, we're broke. We're like in so much debt right now. Americans are like, dude, are you all right? We should slow down. But a lot of people have like really bad ideas about money. And so I had given a very simple boilerplate idea of the way we've structured the monetary system post World War II, because it turns out a lot of this stuff did come out of the World War II consensus. And if you're wondering, like, what does that have to do with me? Like, very simple example, people think, I pay taxes for this. It's like, no, you don't pay taxes for anything. The government prints money to buy whatever they want, and you pay taxes to reduce inflation. That's essentially the argument for it. So anyways, it's a good read if you're into that kind of stuff. I've already got people arguing with me in the chats, but here's what we're getting at. So here, T. There's an app called T. Remember that? The Zoomers talking about T? There. T is an app where girls get to dox shitty men. And you're like, what? Yeah. I went on a date with this guy. He made a pass at me. He's a dick. Just so you know, ladies. And then the ladies would all sit there and gossip and hate. It's essentially, do you remember that Facebook group? The Are We Dating the Same Guy? Which, by the way, speaking of going viral, I think Nuke was viral in that one too. Oh yeah, a lot of salt on the T. So they started an app, and the guy's like, yeah, we need your ID. And girls were just sending in their driver's license, military ID, passports, concealed carry licenses, anything to confirm their identification. They get onto the app, and then they get to bitch about men. And then, of course, you got your regular rogues gallery coming out. You've got your your MGTOW guys, your men going their own way. And a lot of those guys were just like, could you imagine if a guy had a fuck this broad website, the response they would have? Because of course, like the best thing you could aspire to when you're going your own way is to like, why can't I have the same life as a woman? Which, whatever. I shouldn't even shit on the guys. It's like, whatever. They're having fun in their little misery, but still. Yeah, guys get their panties in a twist. So they're bitching about it. They're complaining about it. And this is fucking annoying. And this is stupid. And girls are like, yeah. And then Radfem Hitler probably got another serial killer to mention her on the manifesto. I don't know all the details of the culture war between men and women. I know technically I was like the poster child for it for a while there, but I don't really care. And I hate how people take it. And like, look, I don't mind being misogynist. Shitting on women, it's whatever. Shitting on men, even funnier. But it's like, make it funny, man. Make it funny. Yeah, the app is free advertising. But that's not what I'm getting at here. What I'm getting at is that line right there, TLDR. The T App Store stores everybody's photo and ID in an unencrypted public Firebase storage bucket. What does that mean? I haven't done website developing in a very long time. But from what I remember, this means used to what you would do is if you went to the URL of the website, youtube.com, whatever, and you end it with a slash and it didn't have a index.html or some other page that it was required to show you when you go to the folder, it would just show you the contents of the folder. And so people found out if I just go to, t.com or whatever the app's URL is, slash ID slash, or I can't remember what the thing it is, it would just, bam, everybody's ID was just sitting there in a folder somewhere and you could just view it. So of course some guy's like, well, 60 gigs of Angry Broads, why wouldn't I download that? People are calling it the largest breach of PII in modern history, which is absolutely not true. You guys have no idea. I used to do cybersecurity for years, military and civilian. I am telling you, this is not even close to the top 10 personal identifiable information leaks in the history of the decade, let alone ever. Google lost something like 100 billion people. LinkedIn, I'd say LinkedIn was probably bigger. Microsoft, they probably have had even worse. I know the Canadian military had it, or not the Canadian military, Shared Services Canada. If you guys don't know, Canada is, as you know, cheap. And we have a agency called Shared Services Canada. They're essentially IT for everybody. They do the military stuff. They handle our Hummingbird DM archiving services. They handle personnel stuff. Military, actually, if you guys want to know this, if any of you are like Microsoft wonks, has the largest forest implementation in Microsoft history. 50,000 people. Okay, so yeah, Office of Personnel Management. That's good. Most people end up just switching them to DNSs and stuff and spread them out. But no, Canada wanted one giant list, the GAL, the Global Address List. Anywho, so Shared Services, I was at a Canadian security conference. This is old. I'm dating myself here. It's like 2013, 2014 maybe. And there was this guy. Do I even mention him? You know what? Doesn't really matter for the sake of his name. I'm going to call him Ron. He was the cyber terrorism expert for a different organization. We'll just leave it there. But he's essentially the guy, the most qualified guy in Canada stuff. Shared Services Canada was like, you know what? Cloud is great. I love cloud. It's so much cheaper to chop the stuff. It's OpEx, it's CapEx. And he's like, yeah, where do they store, where's the servers? Because cloud computing is just somebody else's computer. And they're like, oh, they're in China. He's like, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, don't fucking do that. Anyways, they did that. And the entire Canadian government's PII was breached. So the T-app, it's not even top 10. Not even top 10. Vibe coded. And then I finally learned what the hell vibe coding meant. I was like, what the hell is vibe coding? Until somebody explained it in one of these little things. Or maybe it was Socia. Oh, no, it was Sociathlete. One of the... I think he did. Did he? Where is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure in Vince's pulp anthology, he did the. Oh no, that's right. He did the Fuck. Hold up a sec. I read the damn book. You think I remember it? Or what am I doing? That's the window one. This is the not window one. There it is. It's like Ragnarok or Thor. Last Things of Thor. Oh, is that what he calls himself? Yeah, so Noble Brown, the last ride of Thor. Fuck. This is the worst plug for a book I've ever done. Because I can't even remember. Ryan, please, I sent a super chat. I see it. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about it. Anyways, so he brought up vibe coding is just prompting AI to develop you a program that doesn't account for security, legal obligations, and oftentimes has unintended functionality. So I'm like, okay, so that's vibe coding. Yeah, so somebody vibe coded this thing, and they all got doxxed. All of them. And it gets so much better. But pause that. Saxon Smith, $5 1 cent super chat. Why did you get rid of the vid Whammon Ain't Shit video from like 2 years ago? Thank Dad, never day. I still want vengeance on my enemies. Appreciate though, one of the few. I'm confused. What's the Whammon Ain't Shit video from 2 years ago? Thank your dad, never day. I don't think I did delete one, dude. I don't know what video you're talking about, but I don't think I've deleted any videos from my main channel. The gaming channel I've cleared out a lot of stuff on there. But this channel should be pretty much pristine. Yeah, you'd have to help me out. I'm not sure entirely what video you're talking about. If it's the Chick Talks, they're still there and there's a playlist for them. Exactly why the frame of women can't really do nothing to you is such a win. Can't even be top 10 info league. Fucking guy. Yeah, so vibe coding. It just made me laugh. And then I kind of sit back and do my thing. And it gets so much worse. So much worse. Howie Devlin points out, turns out the T-app doxes all its users by uploading both ID and face verification photos completely, he says uncensored, but what he should mean is unencrypted, to a public bucket on their server. And then you see it made CNET News. There's the original leaking thing there. And this just made me laugh. I'm so tired of it. And I was like, what the hell is he looking at? Height 5'3", weight 200. Age or sex female, weight 260. 5'6", 182. 5'3", 190. And then somebody uploaded their DOD ID. Chinlord, Jabba the Hutt sent their military ID in there. And I get it. It's mean and it's cruel to laugh at the fats. But you got to remember, these chicks all came on here to dox guys. This was a doxing app. This was an app to put guys on blast publicly because they had a bad date with them. And not even necessarily that. You know somebody was on there faking some shit because they wanted to get promoted ahead of a guy or something. You know this. So I have zero sympathy that the fats all got doxed on their doxing app. Fucking rights. But it just made me laugh, man. I'm so tired of this. And the best part, so there's like 1,000, 2,000 retweets on this one, right? The funniest part is there's always I don't know what a roguettes gallery, like the chicks. There's the radical feminists and they all like to bicker and bitch amongst themselves on Twitter. And they always like, they always shit on the red pill guys. I'm doing my Rollo flagpole moment. Just go with it. Because it's funny. It's funny. And they're always like, you guys don't know women and you don't women this and women are great that and they're not as bad and you just picked wrong. You know, all that shit. So even now, I've seen a couple of them in those little quote tweets like, all right, you got a point. All right, you got a point. That's a lot of fat. Like, they just pulled up 8 random photos and every single one of them was a morbidly obese woman. It's like, Jesus. Yeah, they signed up to leak somebody else's personal info. So I don't feel bad that they're getting put on blast. Not that it matters. Like, I don't know who any of these people are. I just know they're fat. So whoever they are, as long as I'm jogging at a good clip, they probably won't catch me. By the way, there's a transition to this because, like, even if I'm doing the red meat thing, I do have a follow-up that is going to be funny and give you some food for thought. And of course, it's 4chan. And what's the point of having an autist if you don't take something extremely too far? So somebody made, how did he call it? The Roasties map? I made a map of the Roasties. Enjoy. If you guys don't know, Roasties is short for like roast beef, which is a reference to a sloppy, anyway. And that's the term they use for like low quality women on 4chan, Roasties. So there is the app. And they've literally GPS pinpointed every T user. Now, I don't know the purpose of this thing. I'm not going to go there. I have no need for personal information of other people. I don't need information. I don't need doxing stuff. I don't feel like geolocating all the fats in America. I think that's a fool's errand. But the one thing I am noticing here is that it does not matter. They are everywhere. They're in the Caribbean. They're in Mexico. They're in Hawaii. They're in Alaska. They're in like Alaska's Alaska. They're in the part of Alaska that I'm surprised isn't Canada. Like, they're everywhere. Roasties a 4 at best. Commercial break, bring back the cooking videos. Like I said, is once I start doing a video again, it'll probably be on that route. But yeah, so it's like everywhere. And everywhere you go now is going to be... And this gets me thinking more than the OnlyFans shit. You know that? Like, I'm sure you've seen it. I remember Myron, for that one time he went on to Rule Zero before the rest of us were like, no, he's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He just learns how to talk fast and say bro a bunch and then just like mouths off some bullshit. But I mean, he's advanced now as a creator. He's really matured into his own, and now he's yelling. He's asking girls what they think of the fucking Austrian painter. Good for him. I wish him all the success that he's due. Oh, he was talking about OnlyFans once. Like, every girl's now an OnlyFans girl. And I think even Mike Sartain says that one too. It's like, every fan's an OnlyFans girl. If you meet a hot girl that doesn't live in the sticks, I guarantee she's got an OnlyFans. Ask her. And I did the math on that. You go to the OnlyFans site. There's 3 million content creators. Most of them they're most likely women, but there's a lot of gay guys. There's a lot of people there who just like wrestlers who just, hey, it's for my fans. OnlyFans. Like, they got on before the whole porn thing took off, and now they're like, well, I'm here now. Plus, it's got to be pretty good plausible deniability. No, babe, I'm here for Brian Pillman Jr. I'm not here for Sophie Rain. Where am I going with this one? Oh, yeah. So they were like, every girl's on there. And then you do the math. And of course, OnlyFans has European and Canadian as well. But even if you just do America, 330 million people, of which I think it was like 25% of them were like between the ages of 20 and 40. So like OnlyFans girl age, right? And then half for men, half for women. And then you take out the obesity rate, and of like everybody who's left, it was like 10 million or something like that, or 5 million. And they're saying 3 million. And it kind of gets you like, oh my God, that's horrible. But then you realize, okay, Europe adds another 900 or like 350 million people to the thing. Canada adds another 30 million. Australia adds another 30 million. Once you start looking at it, you're like, oh, so it turns out it's not everybody. It's the same as the other 3 million stat, which, if you don't know, troons. Somebody did their little stats, and there was 3 million troons in America, like 1% of the population. Have you ever met one? I think I've seen 2 in my life. And even then, the second one could have just been a butch broad. I don't know. I'm not including Thailand. I know Thailand kind of skews it. There was quite a few ladyboys there, and it got clear very early that if you wanted to know the difference between a ladyboy in Thailand and a girl in Thailand, if she's hot, she's a ladyboy. If she's mid, it's a girl. Just letting you know. My God, the Thailand women are so gorgeous. You just give them one of the... I've seen several, all in New Orleans. Well, fair enough. I assume they were in a group then. But you see what I mean? Like, we catastrophize this. Everything's going to hell. Every girl's an OnlyFans girl, and if they're not, they're a troon. And oh my God, it's like... And then you look, it's not everybody. But what is everybody is bitter, overweight, middle-aged, underfucked broads. They are everywhere. They are everywhere, and nobody's talking about it. This is the everywhere, man. Gotta say the same work. And you know this. You've been somewhere where you see that girl that's got that pit bull face to her with the turned up pig nose, and she's just not pleasant to talk to. She's fucking vile. And oh, heaven forbid she works somewhere that has a modicum of power over your life. Oh, they fucking use that too. If you have control over people, I'm a teacher, fuck these kids, and they just do weird shit because they're just angry and bitter and resentful, and I get it. It's a weird feedback loop where you're not attractive, and so guys treat you like a human being and not like a girl, and then you're like, oh, it sucks. A guy will sleep with me, but then he doesn't want to talk to me the next day or even mention me to his friends, and you go through a couple iterations of that. I can see you being angry and bitter. Now, where a guy would generally be like, all right, it's time to get my fat ass in shape. A girl, on the other hand, is like, no, I'm going to start doxing dudes. Are there not about 7 billion people in the world? Seems the percentage of OnlyFans is low. Yeah, but you kind of don't want to go there because 2.6 billion are in India, or 2.2 billion in India, 1.8 billion in China, 900 million in Africa. Like, once you take those out of the thing, that 7 billion drops to like half. Generally speaking, though, it's like 330 million in America, 350 million in Europe, and then you tack on another 100 million from the other various Western countries, and that's kind of a better indication. And then, of course, it skews older, so, I mean, but then, that's being, but does it really matter? A psychiatrist I frequent told me off record that the DSM walking on eggshells as far as hurting people's feelings with diagnosis, that a lot of people in the trans community would have been diagnosed with BPD or schizophrenia. 63%, Rob, he's asking, what percentage of Indians in Canada? Actually, I don't know about the whole country, but I know. In Toronto, it's 67%. 67. In the rest of Canada, the stats, if you look them up, say 10%. But here's what I know. About 12 years ago, Canada was 30 million people. And we have a declining birth rate. In other words, our if we just had population from births and deaths, it's going down. Not very much, but a little bit. So I'm like, treat 30 million as. We're at 41 million now with a declining birth rate. That's pretty clear. And that's assuming the number's right. I know that's not right. So yeah, 1 out of 4 people in Canada are brand new. And that's kind of why I went the intro for this thing, because it's so funny. You see a McDonald's on fire. You see a bus in Calgary swarmed with migrants. And you see a guy's like having an existential crisis about wire, and then a Tyrannosaurus Rex shooting people from the roof of Afghanistan like it's Starship Troopers. So Canada is the new Delhi. It's more of the new Chennai. Anybody who knows. Chennai. I will never go back to that shithole. I was so angry when we got there. It's the only time I ever went to a foreign port and I decided I would rather stay on the ship. Oh my God. It was just brutal. It was so, the only thing it was missing is I wasn't on a cargo plane with a crate of chickens beside me. That's the only thing it was missing, to be perfect. Like, there was a cow downtown blocking traffic, just chilling. There was statues of Gandhi everywhere. The whole, there was like a marble, amazing looking mall that was built by the British, and it was just like decrepit. It's kind of like, you guys know how Detroit is after the whole Rust Belt thing? Picture the Detroit of India, and that was Chennai. And the shitting on the river thing. My one buddy saw a dude get hit on the head with, another dude hit him on the head with a cinder block, some kind of weird Indian mafia beef. My tuk-tuk driver had his gums were bleeding. I was on the highway and this garbage truck that had you know how they always pack the trains? It was Indian dudes just hanging off of that thing while it was driving all bad. I'm like, dude, how have 12 people not died today? I don't know. There was a bunch of kids that just cowed us at the gate and they were just begging us for money. And at one point, the guards that were there for us started beating the kids with sticks. It's like, and dude, like, it's a funny story. He's beating the kids with the sticks because they were trying to steal our money. Put yourself in that situation, man. It's not fun. There's nothing about that I'm like, you know what would be great? See a bunch of kids trying to steal money off of me and then me being, oh, beat them with sticks. Parvinder. Yes, sir. Whack, whack, whack. I don't like that. Yeah, Couch, does that make Windsor the Detroit of India of Canada then? I don't even know what to make of Windsor. I've never been to Windsor. I don't want to go to Windsor. I had a friend who was from Sarnia, and he told me everything I needed to know. I just looked it up. Only 43.2% are native English speakers. Yeah, you can't trust those stats fully. StatsCan has been severely underreporting stuff. They've even admitted it, that they have to redo all these numbers. So Family Guy had a point when they said God is not here the moment they got off the plane in India. Yeah, but anyways, it's not about India. We're shitting on women. We're not shitting on India here. So yeah, they're everywhere, man. Everywhere. Angry, bitter women. And it's just been so funny watching the angry feminist types. Yeah, you guys got a point. The entirety of T's app data was exposed, and what did you expect? And you look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look, whatever. They do not look like happy people. They do not look like they take care of themselves. They do not look like guys are beating down the door to get them. And it just seems like these kind of people are not in a place to be destroying guys' lives for fun. But I mean, I get it. If you're a girl in your mid-30s, you can't get no man, you can't find a man, you can't keep a man, you can't start a family. I'd be pretty bitter too. I'd be angry about it. And hell, if when you see that with guys, when there's a guy who's like an incel or a loser, he gets mocked ruthlessly. Even the popular ones, like you got your turd flinging monkey or Misandry Today, and you can tell. I don't know if they're attractive or not. I don't know. Well, I mean, I know Misandry Today doesn't, but TFM. I'm pretty sure that, like, to hang out with him on a personal level, like, I get it. And he's fine with that, which good for him. But, like, there is not anybody, like, if I were to explain to you his life, not a single average person that knows you would not talk shit about him. Female equivalent gets a pass, and they just get to run wild. And it's kind of crazy. And that's kind of what I'm getting to here when I said I was going to follow it up with something. Oh. This one's funny too, but we're going to get to that later. Ashley Madison had a leak. Was it 10 years ago now? I don't even know. Everything's 10 years ago now, except for the 90s. The 90s was supposed to be 10 years ago. Now it's like 30 years ago. I don't know. It's like that joke. What you thought X was like 10 years ago or 20 years ago and what it actually is like. Like I've seen it with jets. What you thought jets were like 20 years ago and you see the F-14 Tomcat and they're like, what jets 20 years ago are, and it's like the F-35. You're like, damn. What you thought guns were like 20 years ago and it's the M16 with an iron sight. And it's like what guns actually were, and it's an M4 with an ACOG sight. And you're like, damn. What you thought gaming was 20 years ago and it's like a Sega Genesis. Like what gaming actually was 20 years ago, it's a PlayStation 4. And you're like, damn. Oh, wait. I got to get caught up on the Super Chats. I was holding this one off. I didn't want to do it because it's Ross the Skunk. And I know exactly what you did. And I know you knew what you were doing. Anyways, Ross the Skunk, thank you for the $5 Super Chat.
So the meme, they're very good. This is really, they've taken it.
True Alpha
named Ryan Stone.
It says, ask Murphy about the article he wrote, cuckolding his wife. Clear up the cuck article. Clear up the cuck article.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
If I wasn't prepared to literally impoverish his entire bloodline,
I am now concerned for my career.
And I still recommend clear up the cuck article.
You know what? Fuck you for bringing this up. Yeah. Fuck you. Heartfelt.
I'm not going to have those guys back on my channel again. Absolutely not.
Just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
It is just...
That's great. You should.
Fuck you.
Sorry, apologies.
Just keep going, dude. One foot in front of the other. Before you know it, this will all be in the rearview mirror. Fuck you.
Ross the Skunk. I hope you're happy. $5. Good morning, Sir Couch. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Jean Simon Larose with a $2 Canadian super chat. The 2026 Canadian census will be wild. We will know. Yeah, I've been thinking about that one. Because is 2026 a long form census year? I think it is. Oh, for America, we have Stats Canada was actually, well, it used to be. It used to be a pretty renowned agency. And they would just do statistics. And the idea was for business people around the country, they have a free database built in this thing, demographics, whatever. It was supposed to be a way to encourage our business thing and policies and all this stuff. We're just grabbing information. So there was, I think it's a 4-year cycle or 2-year cycle. There was a short form and a long form census. Short form is just, basic information. Who are you? How many people live in your house? Do you have any kids? Blah, blah, blah. The long form one has a huge amount of information it collects. Sexuality, blah, blah, blah. It ran through a little bit of hassle because back in the 2000s, Harper shut them down because they were doing some weird woke ideological stuff, he said. And everybody thought, that's stupid. Nobody does that crap. It's a world-renowned agency. And, oh boy. Yeah. So, I owe Harper an apology. Anyways, so Trudeau brought it back, and they've been doing a lot of this stuff, and they just haven't been doing their job. They've been faking the numbers, and nobody knows if that was on purpose, because, and I'm leaning to it is. Normally I love to blame incompetence, but around the same time, the RCMP also did send their report. They have a high-level classified report that was leaked, saying that once Canada finds out how screwed we are economically, that people are probably going to riot, start militias, attack the government. We'll have like FLQ 2.0. The RCMP is sincerely worried about Native Canadians going boogaloo. But I think you can only hide information for so long because they're like, the business people actually need it. So I think they're getting back online. So if it's the long form census in 2026, it's probably going to be wild. Yeah, but Tupac died 10 years ago too. Yeah, Ashley Madison. Impressive for the sheer damage. So I would argue Ashley Madison was about an equivalent sized leak to T. Probably. Did you read the 2040 report Canadian government put? I did not read that one. I'm not sure which one that one is. Throw a link or like the title of it so I can search it if you can't do links. I'd be curious. But I mean, not on stream. Read later. We'll be foraging for food in 15 years. Oh, the economic one. Yeah, I know of that one. Anyways, last thing you guys need is some dystopic economic conversation. We're shitting on wham in here. Focus. Ashley Madison. They had the same thing. A leak like this. I don't remember the details of the leak. It's been a while. If I do recall, it was just an older patch of their server. And for a lot of times when you don't patch older stuff, there's people that just scour IP addresses looking for vulnerabilities in certain hardwares. They found it, they downloaded all the data, and they sent it out. There was some amazing things that people learned on that leak. Amazing things. One, almost all of the Canadian subscribers to Ashley Madison lived in Ottawa. They had Government of Canada, military, or Shared Services Canada email addresses. And it's just so funny because if you don't know this, for a lot of like military guys and government jobs in general, they're not permanent in Ottawa. It's usually like a 2 or 3 year job posting and then you get sent back. So guys would get posted to Ottawa for 3 years, sign up to Ashley Madison to get a new girlfriend, fuck around, and then go back home to their wives and kids. And I was like, oh dear, that's kind of interesting. On top of that, 97% guys. Ashley Madison was a sausage fest. And of the 3% of women, most of them were bots. So what Ashley Madison was doing was they would make bot accounts. And they would learn, like, if we don't message these guys and show them that they're making progress, they just leave and they stop paying. So they would have the bots literally go, and I cannot express how close this is to like a techno-feudalist version of the deadbeat duty sex wife. You know the one where she's like puts out just enough to keep you from cheating on her or separating? Like you're once a month duty sex, you're once a month handy, like the Skylar White thing. And so they figured out exactly how often a guy needed to have a response to his messages in Ashley Madison to keep his account running. And they would send bots in there to like, oh, we're so close. Yeah, sorry, it didn't work out. I'm not going to be in town this week. Sorry, we'll try this again later. And it kept the guys going. So it's like men and robots. And then we have the gall to get mad at this new Grok. Elon made a Grok waifu app for like $400 a month, where it's like, yeah, you can talk with our big tittied waifu broad. And it's like, guys don't want to talk to bots. They want real women. Gentlemen, I present to you Ashley Madison. It was a glimpse into the future of tomorrow, today, sent yesterday. Oh my God. Yeah. There was those. There was a whole bunch of stories to come out of that. I'm actually surprised people in the Manosphere didn't strip mine it, but I think that would require research, because I'm pretty convinced that when you watch the Manosphere, and you guys know I already don't even believe the word exists, but whatever, that it's just a 6-year-old soccer game. Everybody keeps an eye out for stuff, and then the algorithm gods will send them something that's just perfectly irritating or outrage inducing. And then the first person to get something that gets any traction goes viral. Everybody else latches onto it like a spider monkey. And that's why, if you're ever on social media, you notice this, where it's like something happens. Like, do you remember, was it, I want to say it was Orleans. Anyways, it was at a dock, either Orleans or Alabama, someplace around the South. I'm pretty sure it was New Orleans though. And then some family was there on a boat, and they were annoying some other family. And then all of a sudden a riot breaks out. And you guys remember that video? There's a video, it's on the boat, a bunch of black dudes fighting a bunch of white dudes. The black dude's throwing a dude into the thing. The old man got knocked out, all kinds of shit like that. And I was like, dude, you gotta see this video. And you try to pull it up, and you can't find it anymore, because you have 100 videos of people doing their commentary on it, and nobody has the video. That's the only reason you want to go on there, for the video. That's the Manosphere. It's not actually any better or worse than any other gossip tabloid rag, but that's what it is. Or Cappy's well-endowed Molly on his Nate Night streams. What the hell are you guys doing? Molly? Cappy doesn't do Molly, does he? I hope not. Yeah, the pigeon reward experiment for single men. You're getting it. B.F. Skinner was the harbinger of the apocalypse. Absolutely. So the thing about this, you're going to see the same thing, but now we have more people, more eyes, more autism, and more angry celibate men, or disenfranchised men. And this guy brings up a good point. The correct use, I know the thing doesn't fit quite right, just whatever. The correct use of the T-app isn't to dox ugly users. It's scrutinizing the faces of the prettiest users for consistent visual tells of unpleasant character, so you can avoid such women in the future. What common elements do you notice in these pictures, fellas? I glanced, and so far the only thing I could tell, brunettes that don't smile. Oh, the Alabama riverboat. That's the one. Thank you very much. And it was funny. Marty, that was the one meme of Marty's that made me laugh, by the way, the Alabama riverboat fight, was that he had a picture of like Kid Rock strutting in like a bathing suit, and he superimposed it onto there. I was like, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's very consistent. It's the combination of ego and disdain and pride. And then he kind of goes into a whole green lines Rivellino thing here, so you kind of just ignore the rest of it. But he's like, you got to appreciate autism sometimes, like it's hyperfixation on things. Because I don't think you need to do any of that. I don't. I'm pretty sure that as long as you have a good set of boundaries, you know what it is you will put up with and what it is you won't put out with. You enforce your boundaries and walk away in case, or sometimes it's just a case of, the tools I talk about all the time here. Use broken record, negative inquiry, fogging, agree and amplify, cocky funny. Like, this is all very boilerplate red pill stuff. And you usually get through this without this. But having said that, this stuff was all cringe when it first came out. So I fully admit that I don't know what the new and useful tools of the 21st century are going to be. I don't. For all I know, some kind of physiology check Like the bucktooth is the, oh, don't trust a bucktooth. Like, you know what I mean? If one of those things comes out of this, great. That's why I've never had a problem with guys going full autistic about dating and that. Because, like, you're going to have a lot of misses, but you're going to get some hits. So you got to let them play. You got to let them play. The weaponized autism of 4chan scares me. I hope to never be on their bad side. Well, I don't think it's so much being on the bad side. Because, like, when you see all the different examples of 4chan stuff, it's kind of similar to when you went viral, John. It's fun to pick on and bully and whatever to other people. But what is really fun about it is when the other person chimps out because of it. Like, you cannot have a freak out. You can't start yelling at 4chan. You can't start having a temper tantrum because that emboldens them. So it's like everything on the internet. You're going to have about a week. You're going to have, like, if you go viral on 4chan or if you become the main character on Twitter, you're going to have a bad day. I'm not going to lie to you. Just step away from the computer. Tell your friends and family, hey, if you get any calls from some weirdos, just hang up. Don't answer. Don't listen. Don't whatever. Walk away. In 3 or 4 days, like, here, we'll put it this way. This happened yesterday, the 25th. I want you to pay attention. The next time you see some big viral thing that comes out, man and woman, sexual, whatever, count the days between now and here. And just know, if you ever end up on the bad side of 4chan, or if you end up as the main character on Twitter, just keep that date in mind. The 25th to the 30th. I got 5 days. Go camping. You'll be fine. The riverboat was 3 years ago? Jesus Christ. The Alabama riverboat was 10 years ago, guys. 1996. Jesus. I witnessed somebody get doxxed with a photo of their bedroom. Always scrub the EXIF data. Oh, there's so many things to scrub when it comes to your photos. Now, don't get me wrong. Most websites, if they're smart and good, they strip all this stuff for you because they just don't want the risk on their end. But you can't know for sure to trust them. If you guys don't know EXIF data, there's always like actual information inside of the photo, when it was taken, where it was taken, the technology of what took it, stuff like that, right? And if you don't strip those things out, it can make it very easy to geolocate you because it tells, sometimes they even add like the GPS coordinates. So strip that stuff. But yeah, you're talking about like the geolocators that can see a certain type of plant, will let you know, oh, well, these plants only grow in this area. It's all about data points. This is an OPSEC security brief, so good. I was hoping it was going to be interesting. It's all about data points. So let's say, for example, I have a video where I take a picture of the CN Tower from my living room. Right there, you have a decent radius knowing where I'm from. And then you can judge how high I am up from the ground. You can judge which direction I'm coming from. You can break it down for residential things. You can do this. If you really wanted to, you can take very scant information mixed with other scant information and then just correlate them. What do all of these things have in common? And then as that list gets shorter, you'll get yourself to a list of a manageable checklist of things. And there's tools you can use. Sometimes it's even low-tech stuff, like a lot of records companies in the States and in Canada. You're just like, yeah, I need a record of this. Who bought this place? Who bought this place? Who lives here? Who did this court case? Stuff like that. And you have to normally give them an address or a person, right? But if you get enough points of information to narrow something down to maybe 5 or 6, then you can just do 5 or 6 requests. And then the one that looks like the person, you're like, there it is. That's how easy it can happen. So when you see me making fun of somebody for like showing off the fuck trophies for clout, I'm not just saying that to be edgy. That's a genuine security concern. It's like, dude, why do you want... You've been spending your entire online career ranting about PDF files. And then you're going to like, oh, by the way, here's my kids in gymnastics class. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? And then on the off chance you are some prolific doxer, you can always get doxed yourself. That sucks. So I will say this. If you're going to send your photo ID in to confirm your fucking T-app thing, brush your hair. Brush your hair, put on a shirt, add a smile. You want to be on mugshot beige. You don't want to be on T-base. I'm just saying. Nuclear Claudio, $10 super chat. That's 2 heartfelts. Thank you very much, sir. There are only two types of women that will use this app. Women that haven't effed you yet, they're bitter, and they want to confirm their shitty views on men. And women who have effed you want to see what box to put you in. That second one, that could be a whole episode on its own, by the way, where he's like, what box to put you in? That's technically how women communicate. A lot of it. Because, like, women don't know the context of things. They feel something, but they don't know how to articulate it or intellectualize it. And so what they do is they talk amongst each other. And amongst these little conversations they have, they understand, what does it mean? And so, yeah, a lot of times when they're talking about their boyfriend to you, the girls are responding back, and they're all trying to jockey for position. They will put you into a category, and then the other girl will buy into that. Women are very good at, like, collective frame. Not necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily a bad thing, because if one or two of the girls will vouch for you in that group, it can work wonders. That's why if you are dating, yeah, there's your social media game. Yeah, there's your cold approaches. But if you can get a couple good wing women in a social circle, oh my God. Oh, you'd love Nuke. You'd love Nuke. Nuke is great. You get a couple girls talk about how awesome he is. Fuck. Or even the ones that bitch, where it's like, oh, you wouldn't like him. He was horrible. He took me on a date and I had the best sex of my life and they never called me again. I'm so angry about it. Blah, blah, blah. And the other girl's like, geez, she must be really missing him, how angry she is. And then they have to go see for themselves. So yeah, it can work for you. Dark Knight Dev, $5, 10-cent super chat. Interracial peace peaked in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now we gaslight each other on social media to the point where we all have, where we have all white communities. I saw that. The random group of dudes in somewhere built their all-white community, and the Jews are mad, according to social media. I still can't believe it. Like, I don't know, man. Things are degrading quickly. Like, comedian podcasts. What the fuck? He's jumping all over topics today, guys. I know he is, but this is important. I have finally decided to see other people's podcasts. I never watch podcasts. I never listen to podcasts. I don't understand it. But you're doing one. Yeah, because I'm not you. You're you. You like it. I don't know why, but I'll continue to deliver. So I go and I watched a comedian podcast. And I was like, all right, whatever. It was it Andrew Schultz? Oh, no, and then it started taking me down the rabbit hole. And then it was Andrew Schultz, and it was him with somebody. I can't remember who. And they were just sitting there talking about how much gratitude they have. And it struck me as like, what the fuck are they doing a therapy session for? Yeah, we've got it so good. We need to help the next generation of comedians and blah, blah, blah. We need to be more positive and positive this. It's like you were just spending half an hour shit talking like Joe Rogan or somebody. I don't even remember who it was. Fuck, I really should have remembered the names. And they all fucking hate each other. All of them. They all hate each other and they all pretend like they're better than this. It's like, you're not better than this. And I realized these guys are fucking weird people. My girl put on a Sarah Silverman special. I was like, I haven't seen her in forever. Half of her special was her telling a story about her how her dad died and how much she missed him. And I was like, this is not funny. What the fuck? Why would you have a wake in the middle of your comedy special? But then you see their podcast, you're like, I get it now. I know what got me on this one. It was that Sam Hyde Heartland one, which I didn't even know the guy from Half Baked had a podcast, but apparently it's good. Sam Hyde went on it and he had a chimp out moment. He literally threw over the desk on some gorilla stuff. There's a whole lot of breakdown. I'm not going to break it here. I have a feeling though, it's kind of like a meta thing. Like, you know how I was talking with John earlier about how he's the only guy who seemed to have caught on with when you're the main character on the internet, just roll with the joke and let it pass. Sam couldn't even do it. He was getting made fun of the smallest amount and he decides to have a fucking temper tantrum, ruin their chances in LA with the new $1 Million Extreme reboot. Even his crew was like, bro, what the fuck did you do to us? So yeah, it's a bunch of angry, bitter, spiteful people. The Schultz one was the funniest because all I could think of was that because he's sitting there, it's like, yeah, we need to help the new guys. And this is like, we're great people. You know, Joe Rogan helped us by getting us on his podcast. We need to get these guys up. They didn't do anything, but they like talking about it. And all I could think of was that Louis C.K. special where he was like on first class on a plane and he saw some soldier walking by to get into the economy class in his uniform and that. And he's like, I should give that guy my seat. That would be like the patriotic thing to do. He's like, yeah. And he's like, I didn't do it. But you know what? I thought about it and that made me a good person. And that's all I could think about with all this shit. And they all hate each other. Now that Joe Rogan isn't the kingmaker, everybody's talking shit about Joe. What's the other guy? Kill Kenny? No, not Kill Kenny. Anyways, he's talking shit about everybody. Everybody's talking shit about him. Everybody hates Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz hates everybody. And I'm just like, ugh. No wonder why you guys come here, because I just have fun and fuck around. If I ever turn this podcast into like an hour-long therapy session about my fucking rich person woes, you have my full permission to roast me hard as fuck. I would deserve it at that point. My one fear is like I'll make $1 million off of one of these books and turn into one of those people. And it's like, just shoot me now. Fucking shoot me now. Anyways, yeah, so now we gaslight each other on social media where we all have white communities. And we got Siege D, $4.99 super chat. 1 cent short of a heartfelt. Don't worry, sir. I definitely noticed. I am definitely glad. During my red pill rage phase, I would be like, hell yeah, fuck those bitches. Now I'm past that and I just sip my coffee. Honestly, I'm with you. Because, like, we're going to go serious for a moment. So with the rage stuff, like, anger is a pretty straightforward thing. Like, anger is a social emotion. It's one of the few social emotions we have, where you have a pain and you have a grievance. You can stub your toe and you could be hurt, but you're not angry. But if somebody steps on your toe on purpose, then you're angry. So a lot of the red pill rage stuff, it's usually, if it's single guys, it's because, like, this shouldn't be this hard to get a girl and get laid and get in a relationship or whatever it is they want, right? This stuff isn't hard. I should be able to get it. And you have to externalize it onto somebody's fucking with you. They're doing it on purpose. Or from a marriage. You get a guy, wife puts out as little as possible, or she treats him like shit or whatever. It's like, we're married. We made a choice to be, good people to each other, and you're just not. And so, like, she's fucking with me. She's doing it on purpose. And she might be. So that's where the anger comes from. And then, of course, once you mention this anger to anybody, their first response is tell you to shut up and suck it up and maybe do more dishes and whatever. Not helpful. So then, of course, the red pills come along because you're on the toilet, desperate as shit at 3 a.m. You do a search, typing in the shit your wife just said to you, and it brings you to a red pill post. And they are to the deal. They are to the deal it well enough. They used to. I don't know if they do anymore. Where it's, yeah, that anger you're feeling, like, that's legitimate. You should be angry. This is stupid. This is bullshit. I've had it too. And you start to realize, oh my God, I'm not the only one who has a frigid, bitchy wife. Look at that. There's like 18 women on this app. I'm dating one. Oh, me too. I'm dating this one. Oh, I'm dating this one. And then you realize, okay, so you're not alone. So it's common. And this is meant as like a comfort thing, because it's the same as being on a military course. There's some military courses that are extremely difficult. They're physically demanding, sleep deprivation. But you always think, like, if you're on a clearance diver course or a ship's diver, you're sitting there at 3 a.m. diving. Your face looks like ground beef. You have to eat ramen because it's the only calories you can get in. You have to put palm olive soap on your body. Otherwise, your dry suit ends up ripping your skin apart and then you get kicked off the course for skin damage. And you're just like, I've seen people get off this course. So, like, it's doable. It's just a matter of doing it. And that's the same thing here. Oh, these guys are miserable. But they get out of it. They get through it. So it's possible. And then that gives the guy a comfort and the confidence to know that there is a better path. They get through the better path, and then you realize either the pain goes away, aka you start getting laid, your marriage improves, you get divorced, whatever, or the grievance goes away. It's not her fault. She's doing the best she can. It's whatever. I'll go get my needs met elsewhere. Whatever your solution is. Usually you remove the pain or the grievance or both. And then you start seeing people that are still in the anger phase. And at first you get angry back at them. You act like the fat guy who just lost weight. You turn and you see fat people and you get angry at them. Fuck you, fat fuck. Lose some weight. My PMC on ship was like that. He was a fat guy, 260 pounds. Lost like 100 pounds. Became thin. Nobody shit on fat people more than him. He fucking hated them. And it's not because he hated them. It's because every time he saw one, it was reflecting his lifetime of failure beforehand. So it makes him angry. And that's the same thing here. You see a guy in the anger phase when you're first out of your anger phase, you get fucking angry at him. Fuck that guy. It's just women. And you'll start spouting off like fucking hypergamy, motherfucker. You know what I mean? And then you get past that point too, where you realize like you're no longer angry at being that guy. You're no longer resentful of what you used to be, and you're kind of comfortable with what you are now. And then you see it, now you can just enjoy it for what it is. In my case, you'll get either pity out of this. You're either going to feel really, really bad for all these angry doxing bitches, or you're like me and you just laugh. You're like, what can I do, man? This is the funniest shit ever. Came on here to dox people. They doxed you first. Oh, sweet mother of pearl. Oh, thanks, Stripper. Yeah, the link to the post, Correspondence Theory, which they're a good brag, by the way. They got a lot of guys writing on them. And while I don't agree with everybody's stuff on there, it's at least the stuff that I don't agree with is well written and I can follow the logic trail. Like, it's not like journalism where you see shit that you can tell is just clear propaganda. It's people that give a shit about their work. And that's what I really liked about them. So, yeah. How about angry at yourself for not knowing these things early on? That is, guys sometimes do that, but it goes away pretty quickly. Because it's really hard to be resentful about missing the last 20 years of your life on something when you're enjoying it now. You tend to just go and enjoy it. Indifferent can work too, Rob. Although I think that's the alcohol talking. Docception, yeah. Just fucking made me laugh. Look at this. Oh, this one? So I haven't even looked into this yet. I'm afraid to. The guy's like, rule number 2, if you're the spouse of a high-ranking congressman, don't take a selfie to sign up for a gossip app from inside the home of the individual you're having an affair with. That is a hyper-specific piece of advice. I have a feeling some congressperson's wife is cheating on her man and is on the T app and just got doxxed. Don't take a selfie to sign up for a gossip app or work on the flight of a secret base. You know what that one reminds me of? Do you remember there was a running app on Apple? So funny. Where it would track your app. Like you would go on a run and it would track your run for you and it'd put up a map. You could see how well you're doing. It's like you slowed down here, you sped up here. Very good like fitness tracking stuff. Anyways, people were noticing, that's weird. Where's this patch of the wood, like patch of desert somewhere that nobody lives in, has like 500 running tracks on it? And then they ended up doxing like a secret military base. It was the funniest shit ever. And I guess they're doing that with this one too. So yeah. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's why I don't go on Facebook anymore. Oh, I always see what you mean. Yeah, I chuckle, I get the humor, I'm indifferent. Yeah, that too. Like I really don't care. I care in the sense that it's funny and I like stories. And I'm telling you guys a story about how funny this is. Oh yeah. So Facebook. I forgot my password. And I was going to go reset my password because I log on once a year to say thank you. Happy birthday to you too. But now it's like, yeah, we got to make sure it's you. We need you to send a picture of your ID into us. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not on Facebook anymore. That's the last time I've logged on to Facebook. I was like, nope, fuck that. The T app got Uno reversed. Yeah, it was like a Fitbit or something. It was whatever Apple's version of it is. I don't remember the details. Secret military base cheating congresswoman. How funny is that? Secret U.S. base. Oh. So one revealed a secret U.S. military base coordinates. Major OBSEC lacks. Always strip metadata from photos. That is so funny. Oh, that's the British thing. That's something different. That's what got me thinking too, because there's this TikTok chick. I can't remember her name right now, but all she did was dox people. That was her whole thing she did. She was some military wife. And anybody who would talk shit or on the internet or anybody who had a video viral, she'd be like, I don't like this. And she had like a whole technique list she would run through, which is actually pretty good. Like you can tell her husband is most likely an intop or an into, because she's like doing some pretty good information scraping. So she's like, yeah, first thing I do is go to his socials. You see who the first people that signed up to be his friend or those are usually people that know him in real life. And then she would do a search on social media like Facebook or whatever for those people. And then look through their friends list and their friends list and who they were married to and all that stuff. And then usually through that, she would find somebody who looked like the person that was talking that shit on the video. And then from that, she would find out everything. That's him. That's his spouse. That's where he lives. That's where he goes to school. Then she would tell the internet, hey, you should get him fired. She was doing this to like teenagers. Some teenage guy made some cringe video making fun of something. And she fucking put him on blast, public image, everything. It was pretty some fucking horrific shit. And I really hope that she's on this goddamn list. Yeah, I just got rid of my Facebook when I first became a dad. It was just a cesspool of degeneracy, and I didn't want my kids stumbling onto that. Yeah, OPSEC can be screwed. And that's the thing. When it comes to OPSEC, the first thing you have to do is accept. The second you start playing, you're at risk. And it's not that you can protect yourself from any problems. It's that there is a spectrum. If they want you bad enough, they will find who you are. Flat out. There is way too many resources out there. The difference is how much do people want to spend in resources to find you. And so you have to make a decision on how much of a profile do I want versus how much do I want to spend at keeping my privacy intact. Now, you can be anywhere on that scale. But yeah, and there's tons of things you can do. There's poisoning the well. There's getting yourself removed from databases, stuff like that. It's a lot of work. You have to do a proper harmonized threat and risk assessment to find out where the value is, what your cost per mitigating factor is. There's a whole bunch of stuff in it if you want to. But napkin math is just, if you don't want people to know, don't post it on the internet. Don't post your fucking children on the internet half-dressed fucking around. If you're worried about fucking PDF files, don't post pictures of your wife if you're worried about some dude slipping into her DMs and trying to pick her up. Don't put photos of shit you really love because people will fuck with it. Don't put your passport into a random app that's about doxing people, because if the one thing I cannot trust, it's like doxing people. Trusting them with personal information is just fucking stupid. Can of Rockstar, $2.02 super chat. The old principle of finger pointing, self-doxing. Perception is projection. See, mind your own business. Nobody likes a Karen. We have a Karen in here? No way. What are we Karening about? Fitbit is Google now. Oh, you guys are just sitting here trying to poke at Rob. Stop poking at the bear. Grandpa don't like that. Yeah, don't put anything in. And there's like the easy other corollary to it too. That guy that was just on, what's that thing where they sit around at a table and jerk each other off about debating? What's the show called? Is it Jubilee or something? I'm with you, Rob. I don't care. We're on to the next thing now. We're off of you. I don't remember what the app's called or what the show was called, but apparently it's really popular. And it's like a whole bunch of like conservatives sit in a circle, and then you put a liberal in there, and then they all take turns yelling at them for 5 minutes, and they have like a clock there. I don't know what the show's called. I wish I did. And they're all paid actors. I'm posting Rob on Twitter and telling everyone to follow him. That's what you get, Rob. Should have stayed low key. Anywho, what was the point of that one? Oh yeah, the thing where they all just yell at each other in that. This one kid on there just got fired for saying something about the Austrian painter, which, first off, if you haven't listened to my 3 rules of having a long, successful internet career, you really should. No diddling kids, no unironic Austrian painter stuff, and no making fun of Democrats in an election year. If you can avoid those 3 things, there is nothing the internet can do to you. Nothing. So he broke the rule. He lost his job. But that kind of leads into what I'm saying here. If you really don't want to have a public tar and feathering, don't say anything you wouldn't stand beside. Don't say anything you wouldn't stand beside. When somebody's like, did you say this? The best, if you've done it right, the only thing you should be able to go is, yeah, of course. Why? What's the issue? Like, what are you doing? Who cares? If you don't have that response, then maybe you probably shouldn't say something. And I know it's easy. I know it's easy for a lot of people to fuck that one up. There was an old progressive woke thing on like Slate or something like that. Do you remember? It might have been around Russiagate time, actually. Anyways, it doesn't really matter where it was from, but the idea was this guy was getting put on blast at a Senate hearing because he was saying some like kill Donald Trump shit or something like that. And then the guy was like, yeah, so you said this. And he goes, oh, I didn't mean it. It's like, well, why'd you say it? Oh, well, it was popular at the time. Everybody else liked hearing it. He wanted to fit in. And I was like, oh, right there. It's another rule. Don't say shit you wouldn't stand behind. But he was like, oh, if I just, whatever the popular thing is, I'll just amplify the popular thing and then everybody will love me. And then it became not the popular thing. And everybody's like, hey, this thing you just said, what the fuck is that? And he goes, oh, I was just saying that because I was insecure. It's like, that's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. It's actually because of an old piece of advice one of my old bosses gave me when it came to cryptography. One of my jobs was cryptographic management. The idea is you get crypto tapes, like literally like the punch cards. Remember the old punch cards? And that's how cryptography would come to you. You'd load it into your KG84 or your I can't remember the equipment names anymore. The 86, the 84. Anyways, whatever. Nobody's gonna know what the fuck this is anyway. You load them in the machines, you do your thing. You got to make sure you load the right crypto into the right machine, because if you load it into the wrong machine, it can cause a compromise, and then you have to call all your sources because it's symmetric cryptography. So if I screw something up with a NATO cryptography, we have to contact every NATO authority so that they can percolate it down and get rid of that key and go on to the next one. Big deal. But his advice, and then when you're done with them, you have to shred them in a very specific way. You can't just throw them in a shredder. You can't just burn them. Like, you have to do approved destruction capabilities. Anyways, so somebody had a joke about crypto tape. He's like, dude, never joke about crypto. It's like, yeah, it's funny, but here's the problem. If a tape ever goes missing, the guy telling the joke is the first one they're going to search for. So don't joke about crypto. It's not worth it. It's the same thing here. If there's something you're saying because it's popular and you don't want to stand behind it, yeah, the first time some shit goes wrong, they're coming to you, man. Yeah, why are you doing this to me? I love how everybody loves the Jack Murphy one out of all the ones. To be fair, some of my favorites of the Red Morning ads. Where's my favorite one? I mean, I obviously love, this is obviously my favorite.
I don't usually post pictures of my kids online, but they're infants and you can barely see them, so, you know, it's fine. But a YouTuber named Ryan Stone tweeted, showing off the F trophies for clout. So the babies are trophies that I'm showing off. It's perhaps not a surprise that a picture of a proud father would be so upsetting to the sort of man who clearly never had one.
That reminds me, by the way, fucking Matt Walsh of all people. That senator you guys had in the States, who's the one that was bringing her kid into the office and breastfeeding him on the Senate floor? Who was that chick? Help me out here, guys. I don't remember her name. But it was some chick in Congress doing it. I don't know if it was a congresswoman or a senator, actually. And I guess Matt Walsh put her on blast, like, don't use your kids for cheap shit photo ops. And oh my God, my inbox blew up. Everybody was messaging me like, bro, you've got to see this. I was like, of all the people. He literally said to stop showing off your F trophies for clout. Of course word was going to get back to me. Of course it was. Naturally, I sent that video out there, and I know Matt's seen that video. There's no way he hasn't. Everybody was sending it to him. Is Jack even still around, or did he crash out entirely? He is still around. Well, he's not around with us, because, like, nobody in the Manosphere wants anything to do with him, because it's just too funny. He does, I wish I could remember. It's like healthcare or some weird grift there. But somebody sent me a photo. Like, you recognize this guy? And I was like, I don't even know who the fuck this is. It was Jack Murphy. He's lost a bunch of weight. He shaved his beard. And he's dressed like this now, which is fucking weird. I was like, what the hell happened to this guy? Yeah, you wouldn't recognize him to see him anymore. Without that beard? Without the beard and without the extra muscle? It's like, I don't know. I wonder at what point Walsh thought that looking like the prick Ellis from Die Hard was the go-to look. You're not the first one that's noticed. You're not the first one. Yeah. I mean, the one thing too, so when it comes to, like, we're talking about doxing and shit, and the one thing that's nice. So John, you were main character on Twitter for a bit. Nuke, you were main character on Twitter. Nobody doxed you, right? So necessarily going viral and letting autists have a go at you isn't necessarily enough to make somebody want to dox you. Rollo's been doxed a lot. They doxed the shit out of him. But the funny thing was, so the reason he got doxed, it's not because of him going viral for that vasectomy tweet. Him getting doxed was because of Anthony Johnson. And I know how he did it too, because he could have done it to me if I wasn't so stupid, if I was smart about it. During that convention in 2017 too, that shall not be mentioned. He's like, yeah, I got you a ticket. I just need a name for the thing. And you give him a name, and he sends you a ticket, and he flies you down there, and he sets you up at the hotel. So I need a name for the hotel. I didn't send him that. I'm like, I'll just fly up on my own. It's fine. He goes, well, I need a name for the flight. It's like, I'll get there on my own. It's fine. You guys set me up at the hotel. Well, I need a name for the hotel. Well, I can just use the stage name. That's fine. It's like, all right, well, all right then. And that didn't matter. They could have used it. But I can see most people just go along to get along. Sure, here's my name. Send me a flight itinerary. Here's my name. Send me a thing here. And for a lot of stuff, he was like, I think he said, yeah, just grab it on your Visa. Send me the dollar amount. I'll just throw you money. It's something that got me thinking as like from like a risk perspective. I just did it all out of pocket for the convention. I didn't really care. And now he has a list of everybody. Everybody at that convention, Anthony Johnson, had all their personal information. So naturally, once he had that spurg out moment, started getting mad at people, he starts doxing people. Starts doxing Rollo. And then everybody who was mad at Rollo, he would go into their DMs and send them all their personal information. So it's really a case of, like, don't get a stalker. If you go viral and have a stalker, I think that's the mix. Because you need somebody that's, like, devoted to it. And then if you do have one of those guys, don't give them your personal information. That's the only two ways I've ever seen people getting doxed on the internet, by the way, until, like, all these big leaks started happening, was some account on Twitter or YouTube or wherever was, like, getting big. And they had a lot of clout. And girls were getting attracted to it. And then the guy would, like, try to cash that in. It's like, hey, don't you know I'm Whoppity Splash from Twitter. I'm like, oh, wow, that's you. Telling to some random chick to want to fuck. And then it's dating. Shit happens. Who's the first person to dox him for a little bit of clout? That same girl with the 10,000 person Twitter account. Every one of these doxes was some guy just telling some random girl, hey, just so you know, I'm a limitable man. Oh, wow. Tell me more, sir. Yeah, too much trust. Yeah, that honeypot goes back to 2017. 2017. And then, of course, every time he went viral, so he went viral for shitting on the trads, and the Daily Wire people didn't care. But, you know, Anthony still doxed the shit out of it. But then he went and got the Groypers angry, that Nick Fuentes group. And then Anthony met some fucking crazy psycho guy there. And then the two of them started going at each other. And now every time Nick Fuentes feels like it and Rollo bugs him, he just starts throwing out his personal information. Not just his, but his wife, his daughter. I don't like that shit. And that's why I kind of get... I still don't get how trusting he is at times. I'm like, dude, if I was in his position, I mean, granted, I would have made less mistakes, but I mean, it's easy to say that from this side of the fence, but I like to think from my training, I should be able to do a better job at it. But like I would be bitter and resentful and angry and fuck you guys. I'm not talking to a single one of you guys, but he's still like, hey man, I met this new guy. He seems great. We're going fishing. I'm like, I aspire to that level of optimism. Because I can tell, even though his live streams are all like a comedian podcast where it's everybody who's running with the flagpole and he's anger and about this and anger about that. He's not angry because he's angry. He's not angry because he's jaded. He's angry because he's optimistic and people are disappointing him. He wants to see the best in people and people are constantly disappointing him. As opposed to me. I have had a smile on for 2 straight fucking hours. I'm having a great time. I am the most cynical, and next to Rob, I'm probably one of the most cynical and jaded people here. I've seen some shit. Even my girl's like, you should smile more. I'm like, oh, fuck you. Yeah. You wouldn't invite them to your wedding or eat dinner with your family. You can't let them know your real name. And I mean, sometimes you gotta. So like, if you want to get paid by a platform, they need to know your real information. But the thing about that is there is a trust thing. So, like, for example, Amazon has all of my personal information. They need it. They need my banking information to give me royalties. But they have a lot more to lose. If they dox me from their banking information, they stand to lose a lot more than I do by having all my personal information released. So generally there's a level of acceptable risk I could put in there. YouTube, same thing. Substack even, same thing. Twitter, I wouldn't. And I'm kind of glad I didn't. Like when they first started doing the monetized payouts things, they gave that Israeli company the idea of like, take everybody's ID. And he's like, all right, sounds good. And I was like, no. I kept my thing on, like, they can shut me off when the money's due, but I'm not sending my ID to this fucking random company that's known for like military ops. Like, fuck that. And they eventually switched over to Stripe, so I'm like, sweet, I switched my Stripe account over. But yeah. That's what Carl said. Never mind the beer test. Would I introduce you to my girl? When introduced to my family, would I introduce you to my boss? Yeah. Rolo's like Superman. Ryan's like Batman without the money or the gadgets or the kung fu or the outfit or the cape. Yeah, it's basically Batman in the sense that I like scaring people. Oh, geez, this stuff's funny. All right, so what are we on for time? Oh, we're still good for time. All right, good. I have hit everything, which is awesome. We're ahead of schedule. So this one here, this was something, I don't know. I was almost having it as a topic for this one. I didn't think I was going to, but now we got time maybe. Britain had a digital internet protection law, to protect the kids. And Canada's trying to do one. Australia's trying to do one. Isn't it funny how all of these Commonwealth countries that have a shared intelligence network are doing the same laws at the same time for the same reason? Isn't that funny? Isn't that weird? So it's been open for like a day, and now all of a sudden everybody's noticing the internet in London doesn't work. Which you'd think that'd be bad news. Because like I can't go onto my Discord server. They need me to verify my age. I can't go on to Twitter. They have to verify my age. They were making it about porn sites, but essentially shuts you from everything. News sites they don't want you to see. Discord sites they don't want you to go to. Just everything. And it's so funny because people have been clamoring for a long time for a great firewall from India on Twitter. Just have a way for me to filter countries in my feed and I'll be happy. This UK law shows us they could do that at any time they wanted to. Anytime they want to. They could completely firewall Southeast Asia from the West, but they don't. It's kind of like the homeless encampment that was by my place. You guys remember when I went for like a whole year where I was so angry? They just ruined my park. The grass still hasn't grown back, by the way. They're gone now after like the third injunction. But they have signs all up and they're basically telling you stay off the grass. They're trying to regrow the grass and there's still patches that are just dead. Dead and they're not coming back. So they're working on it. People are slowly making their way back though. It's getting better. But anyways, the reason I bring that up is because all of a sudden we had Taylor Swift coming into town one day for a concert. And the day before, they cleaned out everything. All the homeless people were gone. All the garbage was gone. Everything was pristine. And it just lets you know they could have done this anytime they wanted to. Anytime, and they just didn't. If that doesn't fucking boil your noodle, I don't know what does. Doesn't get your goat. What's some other old-timey folksy sayings I could have, are things that annoy you or make you think. Things that make you go, That's an Arsenio joke for you guys if you don't know what the fuck that meant. Donnie Trejo, $4.99 super chat. The best clip Jack Napier is playing the singing "Fuck You" or "Fuck Trophies for Cout." Bah, bah. Oh yeah. I forgot. That was just some random thing to fill time on a thing too, and then stupid governor recorded it, and now it's always just me sitting there singing about "Fuck Trophies for Kraut." I wasn't even in a Hawaiian shirt, so it was totally off brand. I had to remember. That's why I don't wear t-shirts anymore on the stream. Yeah, isn't it amazing to use child trafficking as a reason to monitor everybody, yet nobody ever gets arrested for it? Strange. Yeah, makes you wonder. Really makes you think. Yeah, so that's what all the anti-porn laws in the U.S. were about. It's probably coming here at some point. Yeah, it is. It's exactly what it's about. It's to build the infrastructure, the capability of shutting down specific parts of the internet for whatever need. And we can always do our little conspiracy thing. Well, they want to shut down free speech or dissenting voices. Maybe. It could just be a case of, like in Canada, for example, we pick winners all the time. We have an oligopoly, like virtual monopolies on just about every industry we have here. Because, buy Canadian, can't have an American company in here. So therefore, Loblaws gets to run the entire grocery store business. Rogers and Telus get to run the telephone services. That's it. You don't think they're going to want you to, like, hey, anytime any other producer, competitor with us starts advertising, we need you to shut that shit down. You don't think that's going to come too? Of course it's going to come. Rob says with the $2 super chat, thank you very much, sir. Nothing said, which is the most on-brand shit for Rob. Hey, speaking of on-brand, you know what I haven't had in a while? Sad fucking Clary.
You can choose your misery with some pretty girl that, whatever, that you just... And I honestly find it
if your man
interesting
is
for you to say
seeking,
smart.
it's probably because you're not satisfying
I would
your
encourage,
man.
right, so exactly. Do not discredit intelligence of others. Please do not use that word.
But marrying or committing to? No, absolutely not. My son will, marry an accountant. Not one of my sons would I allow to even date one of you girls. Because you don't shut up. It has been fun. It has been an honor. We're going hiking.
Yes.
By the way, I just saw this in chat. Fred Jacobs, do you mean people remember the truckers protest? That was wild. Of course they do. Dude, Tamara Leach, the one chick that was in charge, well, there was a couple people in charge, but one of the head people, she just had her sentencing postponed until October, like just yesterday, which is fucking annoying. They have been, for all of them, all 5 of the main people, Berber and her and that, they've been basically punishing them with the process for years. It's been like 4 years, and they're still fucking with them over this thing. It's a mischief charge. It's the equivalent of jaywalking. There's no criminal charges possible for it. It's a misdemeanor. It's supposed to be for a fine, but they're going hard on it because nobody wants to admit that maybe you sociopaths in Ottawa are the problem, not the people who are protesting. So yeah. One guy, I can't remember what his name is off the top of my head. He was one of the guys from the Coots, Alberta one. Just got released from prison now. He still hasn't gotten his day in court. It's fucked. Like whenever you, like, I know we like making fun of Canada, but just remember when the machine gets a hold of you, and trust me, I know. Ask me how I know. When the machine gets a hold of you, its process is worse than the prison. 100%. Rob, $2 super chat. It's about the money. It's always about the money. Oh, fair enough. Can you play the ad with the woman melting down over being asked if she could be feminine and Stedman in the background yelling at us? I think I lost that one. I was trying to find it the other day, and I was like, where in the fuck did it go? But yeah, I don't know where it went. I know I use it in other videos, and I thought I had a... Oh, no, wait. Maybe I did have a copy. I do. I just don't remember where I put it. Here, one sec. I'll try. Entertain yourselves on the stream, because I'm pretty sure I can find it if I look. Did I move it into my videos folder? The problem is my stuff is not as well organized as it should be. And that's something I have to work on. See, I've got Stedman with his girls put out. I got him with, like, Trump disappoints us. For some reason, I've got Steve the Dean Williams talking about how he likes that dick, which, whatever. Oh, wait, I know what I did with it. I put it in the raw folder. That just means raw footage, by the way, not raw. Because it's not, it's like a clip for another thing. It's not an actual video. Oh shit. The full 2-minute Tekken for pennies is in there. I got so many of these things. I forget how often I make fun of fucking us and our bullshit job. There's so many clips in here that I haven't used in years, and I'm like, I forgot about that when I used to make fun of Steve the Dean, or when I used to make fun of this guy or the other guy. Those are good times, man. Now nobody would know what the fuck that is. For some reason, an elephant stomping a Indian man to death. I don't know why I have that video. But hey, nobody ever said. Yeah, no, man. It's just not there. Weirdest thing. All right, so yeah, you're not going to get it. I tried, but you won't. Next time, sir. Next time. Rinsler D with a $4 super chat. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that. No words on it, just like a dancing kiwi in a coffee cup. So, oh, dude, I actually should go to Starbucks today. I haven't even had my caffeine this morning yet. I had a new thing of I have liquid caffeine. I always add it to my drinks, and I'm out, which sucks because like you guys have no idea. I have an excessive amount of caffeine every day. Like 4 times the legal limit, and I'm like, I still sleep like a baby, so I don't understand. What is that soundtrack audio? It sounds like something from an older video game. The soundtrack, I'm assuming you're talking about the Sad Clary ones. The soundtrack for that is actually from the National Film Board of Canada, Parks Canada advertising campaign from 1972 to 1986. So what they would do is they would have videos of all the various national parks like Banff and Jasper and whatever. And then that sound would play in the background. And then you would have like Parks Canada or Parcs du Canadien or whatever in it. And that's where that soundtrack is from. Which I guess it's royalty free because nobody said shit about it, which I'm happy with. Yeah, so if you ever look up Parks Canada, you'll see the exact music used. You might remember it because there is a band, an ambient band that came out in the 2000s called Boards of Canada. And they use a lot of the old literal Boards of Canada tunes from back then. I think they use that song in Royjabiv or possibly a place out in the country. I couldn't remember. It's been a while since I've listened to Boards of Canada. I don't know if you guys are into like that kind of stuff, like your Apex Twin and that, but it's there if you want it. Yeah, just take care. We're going to roll this one down, by the way. We're almost done on time. We need to get the part of our heritage clips in there. I smell burnt toast. Oh, dude. I had one. I was playing with it where... If you guys don't know, part of our heritage, there was like the Canadian government had a bunch of commercials going on where it was like an old-timey thing of some Canadian doing the coolest thing ever, and then they would pan it out and have like a Canadian heritage. Like the guy who created Superman, the comic, they had a little skit of him meeting somebody on the train and talk about, I'm going to make a guy jump over buildings, and he flies, and he wears blue. We're like, wow. Anyways, I was thinking of doing one. Yeah, Nightmares on Wax is good. I was thinking of doing one where it was like the protest where they got those horses in there and they started stomping that old Indian lady, that old Aboriginal lady with the horse at the truckers' protest. And I was thinking of putting that footage on there and having it back out to a Canadian heritage. I think it would be so funny to have like a good laugh at how fucking horrible that was. Ryan, would you do another video with cooking? Well, we were talking about that last week, Rob. I'm actually surprised of all the videos, like people still ask, like nobody asks for another Chick Talk. Nobody asks for another Mids Watch. Everybody asks for another cooking video. So I'll probably do that. I even know the recipe. I was playing around with a egg salad sandwich because I know there's that classic way of making them, but I was trying it with a different technique and it seems to work. So I might put that together because I notice most of my videos tend to be very simple breakfast foods or like easily put together stuff. So yeah. Yeah, I could probably pan out from that clip for you. I can work with what I got. But yeah, essentially it's like the equivalent of making a French omelet, but you do it in the style of an egg salad sandwich. And it worked when I did it, so thank you. The problem is now I've just been so swamped with work with like all the books and the audio books and the third channel and all that stuff. I just haven't done any videos on this channel in a long time. But I just finished Softbone. The audiobooks for everything are done. The release is next week. So I'm like, the time in my schedule has opened up to where I actually have that as a possibility now. Ooh. John Simon LaRose with a $5 1 cent super chat. Talking of analog, I saw some Gen Z struggling to pay at a parking spot because the touchscreen was an early 2000s touch where you need to push it. Oh my God. Zoomers are so cooked, man. It drives me nuts. Because it's like, I'm used to when there's like an old person in front of you at some kind of technical lineup thing where they have to touch a screen or do whatever, and to watch them fumble fuck through it and waste everybody's time. But seeing 23-year-olds doing it now just drives me nuts. I'm like, dude, you're way too young to be this stupid. Come on. That's why I'm usually just on my phone tweeting out shit posts in lineups. Because I'm like, it's either this or I start yelling at random people. Anyways, so that's it for this one. I'm going to put that away. Oh, no, I'm not. Because we're going to talk about this. This is what I'm ending it on. Dudes, I don't know if you're avid readers, but if you're not, I'm going to make you one. I'm going to make you one. So somebody's asking in the chat, it's Paul, when will there be a paperback? The book is being released on August 1st. August 1st. 01 August. Jake Long in Softbone. Down and Out in New Kowloon. Adventures in the Analog. Cyberpunk. High tech. Low life. And I am happy with this one. I'm happy with this one. Compared to Dog Walker, I don't know which one I'm happier about. Because they're both different. But they're both fucking great. So here's the thing I've been finding out. Like, like guys don't read, you don't read, I don't read. I get it. And you think it's probably something wrong with you. Your attention span is fried. TikTok shorts are too attractive. They write books for women and gays now. It's not the case, man. It's just books are poorly written nowadays. It really is. I thought I was not a reader. And then Nick got me onto, and I keep talking about Defiance by Oliver Lange. Came out in like 86 or something like that. That one, picked it up, put it down, read it in 2 days. Full book. That's weird. So how come I can read this one and not that? He sends me some stuff from Hemingway, The Short Happy Life of Macomb. Read that one too. And I was like, why can't I read then? He goes, it's just modern books aren't good. And I realized that's what it is. It's not your fault. It's the writer's fault. They don't use hooks in books anymore. I even have an example from Substack. Some lady put up a short story, a 10,000 word short story. And I was like, I was reading it and I'll read it and do a review. I fucking hated it, man. And it's not because of the content, it was the technical execution. And that's what I realized guys don't read. She started the book off with like a whole bunch of description about a whole bunch of details. No context at all. I don't know which ones are important, which ones are not. So as I'm reading, I have to think, like, I have to remember 18 different symbols, 15 different pieces of information, relationships between people. And then as I'm reading, I'm kind of like not noticing what I'm reading. So I'm like, where does any of this fit into this? It's literally an author telling you, hey, there's going to be a test later. So here's a bunch of facts you got to memorize. Nobody wants to do that. That's not interesting. That's not fun. Who does that? And I realized, yeah, I don't like that. So when I was writing this book and I was writing The Dog Walker, I'm like, just don't do that. In fact, I go out of my way to put as little information as possible. If you don't need to know it, I don't put it in. Like in this whole book, the main character is named Jake. And yeah, I got a picture of him there. But I never describe his hair color. I never describe him at all. You have no idea what he looks like. He could be a black man. He could be a white guy. You don't know. But here's the thing. I know you know what people look like. And I know what you want your hero to look like. So why do you need me to fill that in? What I do though, is I tell you he's got smooth skin and no freckles. And he's got eye implants. Why do you need to know that? Because it comes into play. He doesn't have freckles, and the characters that he runs into have freckles. Why? Because he's had like genetic shit that's been done to him. They want to have perfect designer babies. They pick their gender at 5. He's got like a very frail skeletal structure to him. He's not, built like a man because of that. But those are details that are important to the story, and they're instantly understandable why you need to know that. The character lost an eye. Why did he lose an eye? I don't want to spoil it, but there's a reason he lost the eye. It's kind of his own fault, and he gets really mad at everybody for doing it to him, but he can't see too mad because, yeah, he caused it on his own. So he's missing an eye. He has an eye patch. Okay. I didn't explain how tall he is. I don't explain what color his cardigan is. I don't explain anything, really, because it's like you don't need to know that shit. Not for the story. And I realized if you're just able to do that, feed just enough information for people to know and to follow along with what's going on, that's good enough. Why would you overload them with extra details? There's a whole world that's built in this world. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the economic system in Amazon's city. Like, no, you don't need to know this shit. It's my job to world build. It's not my job to brag to you about how great my world is. Yeah, exactly. When I read descriptions, I think they better be important. So, like, yeah, when I went in there, it's exactly what it was. The details that you get are the details that matter. And sometimes the details aren't even the details. Like, I'll use the example from the first chapter. I did a Substack post on this one where in the first chapter, he's talking to a dude in an alleyway. His phone is burning hot, the battery, because it's desperate to get a connection. The idea is that he's in an alleyway trying to score some drugs. There's a whole bunch of reasons for it. And his phone is desperate to get connected to the wireless internet that's everywhere, except for here. This is the hidden place, right? And so his phone, I'm describing his phone because that's essentially describing a situation. I could say, oh, he wants a drug deal because he's desperate and he hates how his life has turned out and shit like that. And that's exposition. It's like, nobody wants to hear. Do you want to read a book, or do you want to read me describing a book? I don't think you want to read me describing you a book. You want to read a book. And so, yeah, you have to do that connection yourself. That's work for you. And that's what makes, at least for me, that's what makes reading fun. So why wouldn't I do that? I don't explain the color of the phone because it doesn't matter what color the phone is for the book at all. And so, yeah, stuff like this. And I'm loving it because it's like, I like reading it. I would kill for a good cyberpunk book. I've read Gibson and like nothing else is getting it to me. And everybody else who has one, there's this one, No Dogs in Philly, which is like the newest cyberpunk book that I could find. And I can't read it either. Same thing. Tons of details and exposition that I don't need to know so that I'm like not immersed in the story. And then other things on that too. Too much exposition. Everybody tells you what's going on, what everybody's thinking, what everybody's feeling. And I get it's third person omniscient. It's a style of it, but at the same time, isn't there a better way to do this? So like when I first do a draft, it'll be, what is it I'm trying to say in this one? The character's going here doing this thing. He needs to advance from this character arc to this character arc. And so I kind of describe it. Like the way you see people using exposition, that's my first draft. And then I look at it paragraph by paragraph and think, is there a better way to do this? Like if I wanted to describe Jake wants to get some stims because he's like fucking hooked on stimulants right now because he's worried about his life has no fucking meaning and freedom to it. I could just say that. But I'm like, wouldn't that be better if I made a whole thing about a phone burning up, him almost getting beat up in an alleyway, terrified because he's so conflict averse because he's such a pussy, but he desperately wants the drugs so bad that he's willing to suffer through it. I'm like, that's a much more interesting story, right? Is Ryan the next Gibson? Well, I'm not the next Gibson. I never wanted to be Gibson. To be fair, if I had to, I would say if I got to wave a magic wand, and when somebody says you're the next whoever, I would want to be the next Twain. The next Twain, next Hemingway, like those are the kind of authors I would aspire to be, but I can't be them. So it's like a weird way to word it. Yeah, well, dude, there's a lot of satire in it. It's really how I kind of started with it. The premise was we have like everything's kind of shitty right now. The enshittification of business, dystopia, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, we're talking about cyberpunk, but we're kind of in a cyberpunk world. So why don't I just take the world we have now, add 20% to it? But that's not a story. That's a setting. Ender's Game. See, I don't want to read Ender's Game because I have a feeling Ender's Game is like Hunger Games, like early teen fiction. And I'm just like, that stuff does not interest me at all. I don't know. Maybe I'll read the first chapter and see, but anyway, so that kind of world. But then I'm like, well, I'm also doing red pilled stuff, right? So what's the red pill thing I want there? And like everybody, it's about family creation. And that's another element in there. Divorced guy, widowed guy, single guy, an incel that wants a harem of women, a single mom who's like the last egg in the carton, a young girl who just wants to get home and have a baby thrown into her, stuff like that. So I put that in there too. So now I've got modern dystopia plus 20%. I've got the family creation people in there. And then, like, what's the story about? It's about a guy who wants to have freedom over his own life and the consequences of living that way. So I have those three things, three different concepts, a theme, moral message, things I want to say. Oh, that's right. $2 super chat from Bob. Rip Hulk Hogan. Yeah, it sucks, man. We lost the brother. Exactly. Be inspired, not copying, redoing. Oh, I'm with you. And it's not even that the cyberpunk is the main part of the story. It's just a setting. Like, this story I could have told in any time, but I'm telling it in this time with this style. So I've got these things. So there's something for you to grip onto. It's not just a series of characters do some things and then things resolve. Like, there's actual growth. The one guy goes from being like a bitch, beta pill, simp, whatever you want to, like that kind of thing, right? To a self-actualized man with a positive sex life. Bam. 0 to hero. There's a progression. There's an arc there. And it happens slowly. It happens so slowly and gradually that you don't notice until the end, where I have a throwback to the very beginning and you see the difference has happened. And I was like, I think that's the kind of thing that people would like. It's the thing I like. Because it's like all of a sudden it's like out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, geez, this guy's actually completely different. And it doesn't feel cheated. There's no Deus Ex Machina or anything like that. Same thing with the other characters. The one starts off as a complete, like, disinterested asshole. Like, did you know the whole thing where guys were like, yeah, my best friend, I said I had this crush on the girl and then he slept with her. And he's like, what a fucking asshole. Those kind of guys, the Chad, that's also your buddy and you kind of hate him because he's so successful. You start off the one character like that and he kind of eventually becomes more human as the thing goes on. And then he kind of becomes the Ghost of Christmas Future. There's like a whole bunch of these things in there, which I always love doing. Because, like, the big thing that terrifies me, and this is why I do think you're going to like the book, is in the back of my mind, I have to think, no matter what the fuck else happens, do not waste your fucking time. Because I know a book is a slog to read through if you don't like it. My girl reads a lot, and I'm amazed. Out of all the books she buys, 2/3 of them she hates. But she's stubborn, so she gets through them anyway. And I'm like, I wouldn't do that. When I see a book, I'm first chapter. If I don't like it, I'm done. Like, all right, fuck it. You had your chance. And that's the other thing I don't like about books. The first paragraph, the first page, the first chapter. That's your hook, man. Like, just because the guy's bought your book doesn't mean he actually is going to read it. And what's the point of selling it if he's not going to read it? You're just making merch at that point. Send him a coloring book. It's easier. So, like, if I can't hook you on that first page, what the fuck am I doing here? I can't make you... You have unlimited choices. You can watch YouTube shorts right now. You can watch YouTube. You can watch Netflix. You can go out in the park and play with the homeless people. You can do anything you want right now. But no, I have spent an inordinate amount of time branding about how awesome I am and how awesome the book is, to the point that you're like, all right, fine. I'll buy the book. Let's check it out. Everybody's put a ton of work in. I've spent 3 months on this, and the editor spent a month on this, and like everybody's put all this effort into. You've invested it. That $10 that you spent on the book, or the $20 in the paperback, or the $30 on the hardcover, that was 2 hours of work at a job you hate. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody's invested. And what's the first thing guys don't even think about doing? Let me just assure you, before we start, let me assure you that you're going to have fun. You're going to enjoy yourself. If I can't tell you that right at the get-go, what the fuck am I doing? You know? Yeah, there's the end of the show. I love it. What am I doing? So yeah, I work hard to get that one in there. I think it does a good job. I mean, when I don't do it, Nick shows parts that aren't working and we fix it. So it's there. And then it's the idea of carrying through the kind of story you want to tell. So I think it's good. And not just me. The people that have read it so far think it's good too. And they think you'll enjoy it if you've ever liked cyberpunk stuff. But it's not technobabble. Like, everything is there for a purpose. Everything is there for a reason. I don't give you details you don't need. You get to use your imagination to picture what people look like. Like, I don't think... Like, here. So, for example, these 4 characters. The brunette is Fatale. Then you got Jake. You got Buck. And Nancy. I don't know why I named her Nancy. I think the most described character in the book is Nancy. And the only description I give is red hair and a mullet, feminine hands, freckles, and amazing tits. That's it. That's like the only indications of stuff. And everything, and even that, all those details are there for a reason. So she could be tall, she could be short, she could be a spinner, she could be, oh, I think I call her Irish. So yeah, 5 things. The other girl, I think she's Slavic. And that's it, just black hair and a top bun. Feminine hands, freckles, big boobs. That's all you know. Kind of noticing a trend with the people in New Kowloon. Buck, I think I mentioned his eye patch as well, but his is there for a reason as well. It's not just because. I see your animation. That's the connection. That sells. That's why I'm here. Oh, well, thank you, sir. I just, honestly, it's... Like, I bitch a lot. Everybody's retarded. Everybody's retarded. Nobody cares. Everybody's phoning it in. And shitification is everywhere. They made a good Joker movie, so they fucked it up on the second one. Every series I've ever grown up loving is now fucked. They put a black lesbian in charge of the Minecraft movie, and I'm like, why? Why would you do this? And I just realized, dude, all that bitching and all that complaining, it would be stupid. Like, why don't you just create the thing that you wish other people would? Like, picked up, they're leaving it on the ground. Entertainment, they're leaving it on the ground. You just got to pick it up. So I'm like, why wouldn't I pick it up? Oh, and I got some inside jokes in there too. That's the one indulgence I did. So if you're not into it, that's fine. But there's a couple one-off jokes in there that if you're a fan of the show, you'll definitely notice. You're like, did he just put like a George Bruno line in there? Like something like that. They'll be funny when you see them. And it's just little things too, right? Like I like the idea. I had some skeuomorphic like damage done to it, partially because I want it to be. So a lot of another one of the themes in there is old versus new tech, like in shitification. The enshittification. So things were awesome. They worked perfectly. And then as they get more high tech, they get shittier and harder to use. So in this world, a lot of the stuff that's older tech, even though it's slower and clunkier and less technologically advanced, it's faster and it works better. And it's in service of people. Whereas the fancier high-tech new stuff, even though it's amazing, top shelf, state-of-the-art, it makes life harder. The one example I use, because the one character, he loses an eye and has to get an implant for it. His eye was built by Amazon. It's a new one, and it's always connecting. It's got advertisements everywhere. It can't adjust to like certain types of lighting because it's designed to work in a specific environment. It's very expensive. And then they replace it with like a CRT screen eye implant. Yeah, cathode ray tube, like a 1980s TV of an eyeball. And he goes, dude, like I got a weird VHS effect, but everything is faster. And it just works. So I have a lot of things like that in there too. So it kind of lets people know, like as you get more advanced, you actually get less convenient. And I try to mix a bunch of those themes in there. I mean, I don't try, I did. Goofing on stupid shit doesn't matter, it's fine, but the animation is it. I get it. Yeah. And I've always been a fan of it, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm slowing down on the writing now because I realized a lot of people are telling me when you do this, you should be spending like a year marketing your book, and I'm like, really? I spent like a week marketing Dog Walker, and then I was off to the next one. They're like, yeah, I mean that's good, but then the problem is, if you don't have a large enough audience base, you're basically working very hard for nobody to read it. So you kind of like if you really do care about your work, you really do, you should be telling people why it's good, why they should like it, what about it is your passion, what about it would be their passion, and get them interested in it too. Because if I don't give a shit, why would you give a shit? You know what I mean? I always hated people that do that. Oh, I don't like bragging. It's like, well, is it good or not? It's not bragging if it's true. Like, yeah, this one's good. How do you know that? Every detail in it. Everything. I've scoured every detail with a fine-tooth comb. I hear the only person I trust to do the editing for the book to tell me honestly if something is working or if something is not working. And he's read 1,000 books and used to teach this at a university, so he's got some experience behind it. He knows more than I do. And I pay him promptly. A lot of references to stuff. Last thing I want to do is just like make a pastiche of RoboCop on here. That would be so horrible. Anyways, taking the compliment like water off the back of a duck. I don't like compliments. Like I said, I'm branding right now. I'm marketing right now. It's honest, which is different. But yeah, I don't like compliments because I'm like, if you like if you like it, just fucking buy it. That'll be the only thanks I need. C Fitness, $5, 10-cent super chat. Coach, can you take us out of the show as the not funniest member of Rule Zero? Oh, God, yeah. I think we're about due in 30 seconds here for that anyway, so it'll be so much fun. Okay, so I'll end with the call to action. This is a call to action. You always have to add these at the end of marketing so people can take all of this hype and positive vibes and the heartfelt personal story and they can put it together. Jake Long and Softbone, which fun. So it's the last thing I'll say on it, and then we're out. Softbone. Like, what the fuck does that mean? They explain it pretty early. The characters in the book that live in, there's the wireless and the analog. That's like the nicknames for the different areas. The wireless ones, that's what you think of as like, think of it like woke. 100%, 120% woke. Kids are all put on hormone blockers. They have to pick their gender when they're old enough to ask. It's like 5 years old. The problem is when you stunt the kids for the first 5 years of their life, it ends up feminizing the men and masculinizing the women. So guys end up with early onset osteoporosis. Women end up with small breasts, big, masculine, chunky hands. And so the nickname that the people from the analog used for people in the wireless is soft bones because of the osteoporosis. So it's essentially a book that's got a giant N-word as the title. It'd be like having Battlestar Galactica book called Frack. So I enjoy that joke. But yeah, it's funny. And then, of course, the other way around, they call them Americans of Disconnection, as opposed to disconnected Americans, like people of color versus colored people. Because they're like, oh, these people can't connect to the same wireless network as us. They're the lower people. Little shit like that. Anyways, so Softbone, it's coming out in theaters August 1st. Awesome book. You'll enjoy it. If you haven't read a book in forever, this will be the one that gets you back into reading. I promise you. I promise you. Dog Walker was a serious book with moments of levity. Or no, that was a funny book with moments of seriousness. This one is a serious book with moments of levity. I think is how Nick described it. But anyways, you'll enjoy it. Is it the greatest book ever? I'll say yes, but we know that's not true. Is it going to be a good enough book? Is it going to be worth the money you pay for it and the time you invest into reading it? Of that, I can unequivocally say yes. Oops. It's 2 slashes. www. There she is. So here. Softbone. Takes you straight to the Amazon page, August 1st. If you haven't subscribed to Substack, please do. Links in the description. I have excerpts coming out for it, so if you're curious right now, you can just sign up to my Substack or just go in there. You don't have to subscribe. I don't even think you have to subscribe. It might ask you. I don't know. But you can see excerpts for yourself. Like, is this guy talking shit or is it actually the case? Well, there's like 30. I've got 18 excerpts from all different places in the book. You can go see for yourself. Set your expectations. Am I lying or is it really that good? Putting my money where my mouth is. I believe in it enough. I think like a third of the book is out there in excerpts right now if you want it. Anyways, as per the deal I made, we got to go out with the funniest member of Rule Zero. Where in the fuck did I put this one? There she is. All right. I'll see you guys. Oh, should have named it Osteoporosis, a Love Story. Yeah, that's catchy, Rob. That rolls off the fucking tongue. I'd love to read Osteoporosis, a Love Story. Who's doing the Rule Zero? Fuck, I don't know. I can't find it. All right, whatever. All right, you guys have to find it on your own. I am out. Where is that goddamn thing?
Hey, brother, who do you think is the funniest member of Rule Zero Squad? Now? What's your favorite comment joke of theirs? I think Ryan brings good laughs. He does. Ryan is like British humor. It's like Monty Python. And people are like, if you get it, you laugh your ass off. If you don't get it, you're like...
Thought Ryan's dumb.
People just don't get his humor. Who's the funniest one on there? You mean besides John Fitch? I think John Fitch is the funniest member of Rule Zero, but he's unintentionally funny. One of the robot dogs.
Seeing these robot dogs in real life was pretty surreal and terrifying.
And a Cappy's pretty funny. It can be pretty funny too. Who's the funniest member?
79T 2458 Learning Corp. Little Red Riding Hood. Take 1.
40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense?
Where they say there are Indian people pooping on our beach.
It's a spool of wire. 40 years of my life is in the wire that's gone.